Hey guys, this is Hackett. Today's video, I'm going to be talking about VLANs, what they are, how they work, and why they're used. This is just going to be an overall understanding of what VLANs are and not a deep dive. So let's get started. VLAN stands for Virtual Local Area Network. To get started, I'm going to give you guys an analogy of what VLANs actually do. Let's imagine a company. Let's imagine a company building that has multiple departments sitting in that building. So let's say we have HR, we have finance, we have IT, and we have a couple of more departments sitting in that building. So what a network engineer is going to do is going to divide those different departments into different VLANs. In other words, what's happening is that that building has a single network, but it is being segregated and isolated into smaller networks. So HR is going to have their own VLAN, IT is going to have their own VLAN, finance is going to have their own VLAN. So each and all of the departments are going to be segregated and separated from each other using different VLANs. So what this basically does is that it divides that single large network into smaller low networks. And this is very helpful in case of a cyber attack where a hacker is able to get into your network. And VLANs are going to make it very difficult for the hacker to pivot or move in between different parts of your network or access devices and users that have higher privilege than the user they're initially hacked into. Let's move on. So let's talk about how VLANs actually work. VLANs, what they do is they logically group devices. It does not matter what the location of the device is. This is all pre-configured. A network administrator or a network engineer is going to configure their architecture in a way that certain offices, certain locations inside the building will only allow access to certain VLANs. So let's say an office for a finance department user is only going to allow access to the finance VLAN. Let's take a look at the diagram here. I think it will be better to explain it this way. So you can see this is the router. It's going into three different switches. This is switch 5, which only has access to VLAN 10, which is the server VLAN. So whenever somebody connects to these wall ports, they're going to only be able to access VLAN 10. No other traffic is going to pass through this. And let's take a look here. VLAN 20 is the client VLAN, so this interface is only configured to allow access to VLAN 20. So whenever somebody connects to this wall port in the office, they're only going to get the client VLAN IP address, and they won't be able to get anything else. Same here. This is VLAN 30. These are only allowed access to VLAN 30 traffic. They won't get any other traffic. And then we also have this another idea called trunk ports. What I explained before was access ports. What access ports do is they only allow access to just a single VLAN. So whenever traffic comes in that has the identifier of VLAN 10, it's only gonna let the traffic go through. Otherwise, if the VLAN identifier is not 10, the traffic's not gonna pass through the interface at all. So that's what an access port does. It just allows access to a single VLAN. Then we have the idea of trunk ports. What trunk ports do is they allow access to more than just one VLAN. So, and it's always used between switches, as you can see here. This is all going to allow traffic to all the VLANs we have. So VLAN 20, VLAN 10, VLAN 30 is able to traverse through this trunk interface, and it's not going to be blocked. It's going to be passed through. So switch 1, switch 5, and switch 8 all are able to pass traffic for all of these VLANs between each other. Not to the devices, but are able to move that traffic between each other, which basically allows the traffic to be able to move between the network. The trunking is basically called 802.1 queue tagging. That's what the protocol is. It just adds an identifier for the VLAN, and it's able to traverse through the network using the identifier. Inter-VLAN communication requires a layer 3 device like the router or a layer 3 switch. So basically what I just told you guys here, the traversal of multiple VLANs is only possible when you have a layer 3 device or a layer 3 router or a layer 3 switch. So what is the benefit of using VLANs? First of all, it improves security, just like I talked about before. If there's a cyber attack and if a host is compromised, that the hacker is not going to be able to pivot between different VLANs. They will be locked into that specific VLAN they hacked into. So let's say they hack into a laptop of a finance user. Since that interface or that wall port only allows traffic for the finance VLAN, the hacker's not going to be able to get to anywhere else on the network other than that finance VLAN. Flexibility, it's easy to add, move, or change devices without rewiring, so you can change VLANs pretty easily on the ports. So let's say if a finance user decides to move offices and somebody else sits in that office, it's not that much work to just replace the access VLAN on that port. It saves money. You get to use fewer physical switches for segmentation because you can just use logical VLAN segmentation. Real world example, pretty straightforward, just like I talked before. A company has HR, IT, guest Wi-Fi, user VLAN, server VLAN. You can segregate the a bigger network into tiny little networks, and then have improved security and protect data that way. A lot of companies do that. All enterprises will be using VLANs. The bigger the company, the more VLANs they're gonna have. How to configure VLANs? It's pretty straightforward to do the VLAN configuration on a Cisco switch. You just get into the configuration mode, you get into the interface you want to change, and you get two options here. You either want to have the interface be an access port, or you have it be a trunk port. Like I explained before, access ports only allow traffic to a singular VLAN. Trunk ports allow access to whichever VLANs you give access to that port. And yeah, that's all, guys. Thank you so much for watching.